I realised it's villagers.
And we are live for our 72nd game in our Wrath of the Immortals campaign, where the characters are on the 2nd of the 5th month, 1006. Which I'll just make sure I note down in my book, because it's always useful to know what game dates are what. Okay, so I'll start with online people today. So online today we have M.
M. You're just carrying Bob around. She's just carrying Bob around. She'll be here in a couple of seconds.
Well, how about we'll have Josh introduce himself, even though he's only here for a short time.
Better to introduce him because he's only here for a short time.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Josh. I play Chevelle the Paladin.
Paladin!
And the fantastic paladin that she is too.
Yeah.
Exactly, the fantastic paladin that I am. basically, if you look at me, you get paladin screamed in your face. Just to make sure that you know that I'm a paladin.
Well, I have been tempted to write paladin across the front of the image just so everyone
That would
gets
be
it.
that would be funny.
That would be hilarious. Do it.
Right now, Chauvel should be pretty happy because we're in a city of fire.
Yeah.
And also online we have M.
Hello. I'm Zal. I'm the cleric wizard.
Trail Ranger.
I am, depending on where we are, a cleric of the mover of the Ethengar clan, or wizard of Valkyrie.
all around the world you are known as a paladin.
Or the Field Ranger.
I'm not sure which one hurts you the most.
Yeah, I don't know, it's getting hard to keep track of what places, like what.
It can be difficult.
We have Indy Sue.
Yes, we also have online Sue.
Okay, I'm playing Strahd. She's newly joined the party because her hero, Camdu, went off on this quest that she's going to succeed. But anyway, and she's a very good human ranger, human soldier.
Not failed at all.
Not failed at all.
No, that's what I said. Not failed at all. She's very good at what she does. Doing it all her life, I guess. She's Ethengarian.
Ethengarian, yes.
Yeah. So as well, but yeah, she's her archetype as a ranger is she's a hunter. And a soldier, so yeah, she's basically also a member of the Cairns family, but from the poor side, not they're not in favour. So she's been away serving as a mercenary, and that's how she learned her battle skills and everything.
Do you think Indy hopes to kind of raise her status through these adventures?
No, it's just more because Camdu asked her to join the party. Camdu's her hero.
Yep.
And so, because Camdu asked her, then she's going to do everything she can.
I just thought it might be a goal that she might like to have. I don't mean to force it on her or anything, I was just curious.
No, I mean, she may gain skills as she goes along, but that's not her initial goal. It's her initial goal is to please Camdu.
Yeah.
And she may or may not make Zal just slightly jealous of her.
Oh, yeah. Frenemies?
Oh, no, not so much frenemies. Just like, while I can wield bows, I can't. I don't get as many boons as I used to. Let's say that much.
It's smarts.
Yeah.
Especially when all the things you remember doing, you're watching this other person now do.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely.
Yeah, that
That'll
might
pinch in
really.
the right places.
Yeah, a little thorn in your side, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and our player in person is Ariadna.
So I am Thala, elf of the elements, season fae, chaotic druid of Ilsendale. I'm also singer of axe beaks, ponies, and pilfering. Who is currently absent today with our swashbuckling halfling and our Water Genasi? Our Water Genasi.
Who's now been missing for 2 sessions.
Yeah, unfortunately an injury has overcome
The
him.
player, yes.
So I'm here for the same kind of reason Imni's here, because a former party member, Calcrix, the dragon with the jazz wings, has asked me to take her place while she goes questing for a goddess of darkness underneath a pyramid. Yep. So that's me.
Okay. So, you have travelled to the town of Dovefall
That's right.
in the region of the Northern Reaches. Oh. I love it when you just click on things and then decide that they want to change where everything is.
No.
Are we heading out though? Because it says at the end of my other one that we're going to travel the next day, I think to Jamtforge? Jamtfjord. How the hell do you pronounce a TFJ?
I'm not sure, but I was about to answer it.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't looking.
No, you weren't. So, what I was going to say is, just trying to do the recap of what was actually happening, is that you stayed in a temple overnight, and you were going to go down to the docks in the morning.
Oh, okay. Thank
So
you.
you have not arranged transport, you have not spoken to anyone about transport, and you have no idea if you can get transport.
Oh, that's why we were going down to the docks, was to find
Yes.
out if we could get there by water.
Yeah, I
And-
was about to say, are we heading to the docks to, like, peruse ships?
Yep.
You were planning on it, but no one had actually managed to do it yet because it's harder to get down to the docks than it is to the front gate. Because you've got to go through many levels of gates.
Yeah, because when we were asking questions at the churches, and I said that in air quotes.
Yes, because they have more attacks by sea than they do by land. Even though the wall for the land side is a lot taller, it doesn't have to be as tall for humans as it does for trolls.
Yeah, because they have a troll problem as well.
Yes, they do have a troll problem as well. Which, if you to follow the trail south, puts you right into the troll lands.
Yippee.
There are quite a few places you'd have to travel through troll contested areas if you try to go by land than by sea. Which is why you were discussing going by sea.
I guess we should probably wander our way down to the docks then.
Yeah.
But morning comes rather bright and cheerful as you are on the eastern shore of the ocean. So sunrise is as early as it can ever be.
I'm sure the Paladin is excited about that. You can hear his squeals coming as the sunrise.
And yes, you are woken by the sound of many bells ringing to announce the sunrise. Not that anyone would be mistaken by it, but they do like to acknowledge the sun.
So is this something that we would participate in, being at the temple?
Quite possible. You don't have to.
If we've got time, I'd like to. More stories for my tree.
Okay, so yes, they do have ceremonies going on in the Temple of Freya, which you're in at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
and they are
Is that like
honouring
morning rituals, Martin? Or
morning rituals.
just-
Yes,
Nice.
Do we get food?
you can pass the worship and go straight for the food.
No, I'll do the worship and then get the food. I don't want to be disrespectful. But, you know, coffee.
But Zal is unfortunately unable to join them for the worship because Frey has its own temple.
Yeah, I was
Oh,
going to say,
yeah.
I'm in the other temple, aren't I?
Yeah.
You're
'cause
in the brother god.
Yeah. Do they have morning ceremonies / breakfast?
They do. Well, they do. They have food available besides worship, but they do have their morning services for the faithful.
I'll watch their ceremony, but I won't partake. And then I'll grab a small bit to eat.
So it's give me a religion roll as you pay attention.
Religion roll. Alright, I'm actually good at that. I think my character sheet is actually like a couple of points wrong, but that's fine. I need to come around one day, Martin, and actually like
Work on the
Okay.
character.
yeah. Where is a D20? That one. Uh, 13 plus something.
Well, it would be a plus from a -1 to a +8 at this level.
Religion. Think it's +7. Well, it says +7. I have a feeling it might actually be +8, but
So it would be
as I said-
+3 for your proficiency. It should be, and plus your wisdom modifier. No, your intelligence modifier. I think. Let me
it's
just
my
check.
intelligence modifier,
just
which is +4.
+4. Yeah, it's because they moved religion to other things for different games.
Oh, I'm not used.
Yeah, religion is intelligence based.
What are you doing, Bubba?
So
+7 is right then.
4, 5. Yeah, so it is +7. Okay, yep. As that would be a non-natural 20 then.
Okay, so paying attention to the worship of Frey in the morning, they are talking about the benefits of irrigation and fertilization and sustainability of the land as a big part of what they're calling about to their parishioners.
Okay, so they kind of worship nature.
Well, Frey is also one of the agriculture gods.
Oh, okay, well then, so yes, they do definitely worship nature.
It's more industrialized nature, but it's still nature.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Yamuga would be against it.
No.
Well, Imuga wouldn't be as lawful.
So less OCD.
Yeah.
Less lawful.
Yeah, because these guys are more talking about ordered rows, timing, making sure you do things in a certain way.
So structured.
Yeah.
A bit like the
right.
difference between a zoo and the jungle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or more like the zoo and an open plain zoo.
Okay, yep.
So yes, it is interesting how it's a structured version of nature.
Will that be a new perspective for you?
Well, Imuga doesn't preach it that way.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It'd be a different perspective for Zal to see nature from. Well, I think.
Well, as I said, it's a kind of nature that not the kind of nature that I'm used to.
Yeah. And as everyone else was just participating and not really watching, unless they're...
I was observing for storytelling reasons.
Well, give me a religion roll as well then.
Just can't tell where the dot is, at the bottom or at the top. Bottom. Bottom's 9, isn't it?
Depends on what part is considered the top and bottom of it.
Your bottom's at the bottom of the...
The bottom of the stick is a 9.
Yeah, I just didn't want to misinterpret that as a 6. Or misinterpret it as a 9 when it should be 6.
Yeah.
So you said it's plus intelligence?
Plus intelligence.
Why does it take you so long to read through these things? Up here, plus 1, so 10?
10. Okay, yeah, it seems interesting. You don't fall asleep too much. They waffle on about things that aren't really things you care that much about in your tending.
I'm probably a bit like Zal.
At least they talked about plants.
I will venture outside of the temple to meet up with anyone who wasn't in the girl temple.
I believe none of the others actually stayed for
I
the
think
devotion.
Halfling Pilfering may have.
He stayed in the Freya temple.
Yeah. Okie dokie.
Okay, so yes, you meet up outside the temple not long after dawn.
Hello, peoples.
It's an interesting ceremony they had.
What was your ceremony like?
Very ordered way of tending to plants. It was constructive.
I thought the same of mine. A little bit too structured for my like. Not enough spontaneity and creativity, I think. But, everyone has their own way. Are we heading off down to the docks?
May as well start making our damn now.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of gates we've got to get through, so I guess sooner we start, the better.
Okay, so the 4 of you head off towards the docks, leaving the others behind to eat.
I presume the others are Tidal
Tidal has not shown up yet.
and okay. So Yodri and Pilfering?
That's
Yeah.
me. I'll find the mute button.
Okay, so you are you head off to the smell of food all around you.
Are there food stalls along the way?
Each of the temples has food available to those who wish to come in and hear.
Oh, okay. We probably don't want to listen to hour-long lectures right now.
I think Zola would have grabbed just like a bit of bread or something, whatever was available.
Yeah, I was just interested in whether or not they were like exotic cuisines that we wouldn't see in other places that I would possibly see from the street as I'm walking by, rather than stopping in to question everyone, because otherwise we'll never leave the town from the sounds of things. And poor Yodri will be just made very jealous by the amount of alcohol he can't drink and enjoy.
Well, there are lots of different temples there, so and each of the temples has their own food available, following the beliefs of the god or goddess itself.
For the sake of getting down and organising our transport, it would be unlikely that I would stop them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alright. That's all good.
Okay, so you bypass all the nice and exotic smelling food and start heading down through the different gates towards the coast itself. That takes you about 2 hours going through different checkpoints because they don't leave the gates open.
Mm. I'm guessing that's because of all the sea incursions?
Because it takes so much time to shut a gate that they have smaller passages for people to get through.
Little people gates.
And that if they're going to bring a wagon through, the wagon sort of gets left in between two sets of gates where they check the wagon.
Okay, yeah.
Paranoid people.
Yeah, okay.
You stand out as different to their usual cutthroats, because none of you are Haldanic by descent.
Oh, okay. Yep. Do they react in any particularly negative or aggressive way to us, or are they just kind of politely cautious?
Politely cautious.
Okay.
But they don't see you as a national threat.
Definitely not one of them, but also not to worry about. Fair enough.
More of it, they keep an eye on you, not shoot you on sight.
Do any of them give them more deference, though, to the paladin? Because she's a paladin? And they like fire things?
Well, they look at the paladins, some of them just shudder, and...
Someone's just shouted in their head.
Don't worry, it happens to everyone.
But,
Paladin.
Yeah, paladin.
but most of the time they just nod and don't seem that surprised.
I gather they've encountered paladins before.
Well, the front gate guys said that as well. So.
Yeah. I was just wondering if when we get to the docks, whether it might be more beneficial for us to put Chauvel forth to do negotiations on transport, because she might garner a slightly higher level of respect than the rest of us.
Sure. If you want everyone to run to the hills screaming paladin.
Well, no, it's just, I gather she can carry on conversations without, like she has in the past carried on conversations without the paladin bit interrupting too much.
Yeah, because people tend to like not look at her when they talk. When she talk.
Yeah, but
eventually, after about the third time, they kind of get it.
In a way, I'm kind of hoping that they're kind of more eager to get us going so that they don't hear the paladin anymore. They won't either charge us too much for the transport.
Well, it depends if they like paladins or not, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's why I was asking whether or not, because Chauvel's a fire Genasi, whether or not she might get a little bit more deference from them than all us non-Haldanic fiery people.
Most of the Haldanic people are air-aligned.
Oh, are they? Oh, okay, so it won't make much of a difference.
Not a huge amount. It would
Okay.
be diametrically opposed if you were the Earth aligned.
But yeah, so don't let Zol talk.
Yeah. Well, maybe Chauvel might still be the best pick.
And Imni is also Earth aligned, should be.
Yeah, so probably Chauvel's the best negotiator amongst us right now. And it's a role-playing opportunity, so who turns those down?
So yes, you after 2 hours of going through lines and docks and finally making it down to the wharf, you see that there are 3 longships docked at the docks at the moment with big. One has a big lion prow, one has a dragon prow, and one has what appears to be a Valkyrie as its prow.
So what was the first one, Martin?
A
It was
lion.
Dragon, Valkyrie, and what was the first one?
Lion.
The lion.
As in, the lion sleeps tonight.
Yeah. No. It's just Mare keeps squealing every time Martin says it.
That's okay.
So
I
which
think-
one do you approach first?
Chevelle?
What's up?
You've kind of been volunteered to do the negotiations because Imni and Zal are kind of earth related worshippers, and these guys are air worshippers, so they're not going to fare as well as, say, a fire person.
You have the choice between the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I mean, sorry, the Lion Dragon and the Valkyrie.
I really should have done that.
I don't mean that we're going to war.
Oh my god, a 4th ship's going to pull into dock with a wardrobe at its prow.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hold back from the reference.
So I was gonna have a chat with the captain of the Lion.
Okay. So, the captain's wearing bikini armor. He is showing off his muscles. Very much look at me. Oh, look at me! I have fantastic muscles.
So it's basically Druzal.
Yeah.
And he's basically showing how many push-ups he can do with one arm on the side of the ship, while basically resting on just the rail. And it's basically, and he's saying to passerbys, "Come sail with me. I am the strongest one around, and the bravest."
This is the lion one, is
Yep.
it? Yep.
What are we hearing from the dragon ship?
You basically got to walk past a bunch of people to head towards that one. Yeah, they do have little market stalls down here, and you sort of got to weave between them all to get to the ships. The ships stand at least a deck above the pier.
So what are the stalls that just like
Fish, trinkets, things that fell off a ship in transit.
so waterlogged goods?
Yep. And some merchants who just couldn't afford to pay the taxes to go into town.
Fair enough.
So in the cases of these stalls, are we more likely to be able to just exchange money for different kinds of food as opposed to having to sit through a lecture?
You could.
Is there any really, like, is there a sushi type stand or?
There is a stand with raw fish. Not prepared, but raw.
No, I don't think I'm going to take my chances with raw fish. But I might approach one and see what's different and interesting and purchase it, just because I want to tell my tree what that tastes like.
There is one with squid on it that's still moving.
I'm going to
Yummy.
skip the squid. I'm
I'm sure
like
my axe
Grogu.
was with us. I presume we left the animals in the care of where we were staying.
You did, because it's not easy to
Yeah.
bring down to the pier.
Yeah.
Because you've got to go through the equivalent of airlocks each time.
And
Yeah.
your axe beak would have been raiding all the food stalls along the way.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking I might get find like a nice apple or fruit for my horse, and maybe get the squid for my axe beak for the
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
Yeah.
The axe beak has proven to like squid and octopus.
So yes,
Well,
you can pick up some very basic foods here for price of a couple of coppers. They don't charge much because, to be honest, a couple of coppers is fantastic for them.
Yep, I'll do that.
I slightly overpay, but not by a ridiculous amount. Are we going for the dragon ship then?
Yes, we will.
Just
Yeah,
getting the
why not?
names of ships up.
What's with your spooties?
Ain't much. Ain't much.
And I jiggle.
And you jiggled.
I didn't jiggle.
You were making baby shape before. I just put her in this one, dear. That's why he's sobbing.
Yeah, the first two weren't made though.
Yes, of course.
No, it weren't. It weren't.
Okay, so you've reached the lion ship. What do you say to the captain as you get to the gangplank?
The lion one?
Yep.
Okay, yep.
'Cause that was the one you were heading towards when you heard all
First
the...
one, yep. The guy doing push-ups.
Yep.
Is Cheval still negotiating?
I believe he was going to be.
Ooh, that's a 20.
Oh.
Oh, kind of glad it's not a 1, but I'm not sure about that. That could mean we end up paying a whole lot more.
He either really likes Paladin getting screamed in his face, or he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as Chauvel moves forward, he gets the word captain thrown into his face.
So I definitely found the right person.
And he lands and stands up on the railing, looking down at you, going, "Oh, so I have a paladin here before me," he says, wearing such small bikini mail that there's not very much of the imagination left.
Yep.
I resist looking up because I'm pretty sure that point of view is not going to be friendly.
But it does look like he has oiled himself up nicely so he glistens in the sun.
Could he burn?
Quite possibly.
Lucky you're not a vampire.
And so he yells out in a booming voice, "Come, Paladin, join me on the ship."
I'll come join him on the ship. Oh, them on the ship.
Okay, he greets you once you get on with a hand about 3 times your hand size. He's not petite. He's not. He's exceedingly large for his thing, and he's someone who works with his hands for a living. So they are calloused and large.
Well, that's hopefully good because that means he either paid his ship, repairs his ship, and steers his ship with rigor.
You have a look around. You give me a insight roll.
Insight roll.
It would have helped if I put this in.
Hearing what's happening would help.
Yeah, I'm just not as used to it. Actually, I took it out and I've left it somewhere. Crap. I'll get it when there's... Oh, Cheval's doing things at the
Cheval's
moment,
doing
so
stuff at
I'll
the
quickly
moment,
go.
so it
track
might
down
be
what
by
I'm-
the bed.
Yeah, I reckon I took it out, put it in before game, and then got distracted.
So what was Chauvel's insight?
What's insight under again, Martin?
It is under wisdom.
Wisdom. I don't think I have any wisdom. I think it's a 10.
You think it's a 10?
Yeah, 10.
This guy seems just perfect for your needs.
Perfect.
As he is also coming across as quite charming as well.
There's charisma through the roof, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not only is he well-built muscly, he just smiles, and apparently Chauvel is liking what she sees.
That's not a surprise.
I'll lean over to Chauvel and go, "You right with it?"
You mean you don't close Chauvel's mouth?
It's a good thing Chauffeur's not here.
No, I think you're truly inflamed there, buddy.
What? It's a good looking dude.
And while flexing his muscles in a rather disturbing way, he says, so, where do you seek to travel to?
Where are we traveling to again?
We're going to one of the islands that I can't remember the name of.
Well, you were wanting to go around to Jantford, though the shipping lane stop, the closest shipping lane is in Nummerhead, at the town of Tromsø.
So probably there.
Yeah, so we're trying to get to Nummerhead.
He says, well, such a paladin as you is probably mighty and good with coin. How does 80 gold each sound, he says.
80 gold each.
Expensive.
Really expensive.
He says, but I'm worth it, he says, with a smile and perfect teeth.
Can I like roll to like jab shovel the side so he stops the wood?
You can, but I'm not sure it's going to help.
Yeah, I missed all that. I missed what Martin said because I'm screaming baby.
You probably could, but I probably wouldn't do much.
Oh, okay, right.
She is captivated.
You know, prosperity's sake.
You remember many of your fellow Ethengarians having the same look when looking at Camdu.
I asked the captain, so what have you heard about the other two ships?
There's you can see the one there with the dragon pal. I'm sure it is very fiery and up to no good like all dragons.
I don't voice my objection to that, but you know, I'm not impressed by the comment.
And the one with the Valkyrie, I'm sure, is run by women and doesn't take many men aboard.
Nah. Interesting. We will take your offer into fine consideration. I'll give him a wink, and we will walk on the ship.
Okay, he helps you off, much to Zal's annoyance.
I would have thought it would be to Shovel's dismay that she's getting help like a bloody princess.
Hell yeah.
Oh, she probably doesn't mind from that natural 20.
So yes, you make it down without incident with the help of the captain.
Yeah.
So you have a feeling he probably upset someone along the line as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you would?
He probably upset some god at the line. We'll start walking towards the dragon.
Okay, it takes you a little while to get there. About 10 minutes walking. Because it's not that easy to get between all the people.
No, that's okay.
And when you reach the boat itself, most of the stalls near it are empty.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I don't know. It could be a good thing. They've sold all their wares, but...
There's still wares there.
Oh, there's no one at them, though. That's odd.
Mm-hmm.
Just less wares, or...
It's almost as if they just stopped what they were doing.
And disappeared? Like they're not visible anywhere? Oh. Do their stores look in any way disrupted?
No.
Okay. We might be able to ask the dragon captain about that.
Yeah, maybe. We'll go have a look at the dragon ship.
Okay. Give me an insight roll when you look at the dragon ship.
Is that just Chevelle?
16.
He was the one heading up first.
Yep.
This one doesn't seem to be as well maintained as the lion ship.
Mm.
And has a bit of a stink about it.
Okay.
Interesting.
What kind of stink? Is it like putrefied human waste? Is it like fishy stink?
More the first.
Oh.
And unwashed.
Oh. In that case, I am not going up to that ship. I'm happy to stay down on the dock and look around and see if I can figure out where all the people have gone.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's probably why all the people have gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so you walk up the gangplank?
I'm not adamant of going up the plank.
But you've started, so you're going anyway, or?
Yeah, may as well. Let's see what's going on up there at least.
Okay, so when you reach the top, you see a bearded, scarred, heavily clothed man with a sword saying, "Oh, new conscript, I see."
Oh.
Conscript. I hate to disagree with you there.
He goes, "Paladin,
Yeah.
oh, my mistake," he says with a twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That worked out well.
Yeah.
So you're not here for passage?
We might be here for passage.
That would be great. I can work out a great deal for you. Where would you wish to go?
I explained that we're going back to Kilnfear in a little bit.
To the town of Tromso in Namahead.
Namahead, yeah. That's right.
He says, I think we can head off that way soon. Have you got many able-bodied people with you, miss?
Able-bodied.
Just trying to work out how to spell Tromso.
Tromso.
I've got a party's worth.
Oh, a party. So, is that about 20 or 30 good warriors ready to die for the cause?
No.
But that's a normal raiding party size.
Why are you mentioning dying for a cause? What kind of trouble are you in?
I'm a Viking, he says with his hands on his hips. Almost stabbing himself in the leg with his saber.
And what happened to the last of your crew?
They died for the cause.
Was this cause just a simple sailing of the channel?
Sailing is a good cause. I love sailing. And for you, Miss Paladin, I'm happy to do a deal of 1 silver each.
Wow.
I have a distinct feeling. This has happened before in this campaign.
What's that distinct feeling?
It's. I won't go into it because it'd be metagaming.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it would be metagaming. I won't go into it.
But
No, fair enough.
We'll still assess all options.
But Chauvel is more than happy to, considering Chauvel has been in this dilemma before.
Yes. So I mentioned to the party a while ago we had to again ask for a ferry from X location to Y location, and again there were three ships. One was really expensive. No one really wanted to, but they were probably the best navigators and sailors that we could possibly think of.
Oh, is this the one where we gave coffee or honey?
No, that was a different one.
Oh,
And then you go all the way down to the one that we chose, which was the cheapest. And somehow, miraculously, we managed to make it to our destination. Somehow.
So how we managed to what?
Make it to their destination.
Oh, okay. The dice didn't try to kill you?
No, I did.
Yeah, it really did.
I'm trying to remember when that was.
So we want to try and sail into Riverport.
Okay, and then you... do you walk off the ship after that, after you find out those details?
Yeah, I'll get all the regular details and then we'll walk off the ship and go to the Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm. So as you get closer to the ship, you see that there are people at the stalls passing stuff up to people on the ship, and people at other parts of the ship passing things off the ship to the people at the stalls.
Okay.
So between the three ships you're seeing, this one seems to be the only one that has any real connection with the wharf at all.
Yeah.
As they seem to be loading and unloading at the same time.
Huh.
And as you're walking amongst them, you hear from on top of the ship, there's a paladin approaching.
Yes. I wave. Hello, I'm the paladin.
Yeah, you see a well-armored, basically covered from head to toe in various leathers in different layers. She calls out she's the first mate of the Valkyrie.
Hello, first mate.
Would you like to come on board and discuss your shipping needs?
Yes, I would like to.
And then she yells out, "Paladin, coming aboard, make way!" and people just stop and get out of your way as you start walking there.
Okay, I thank them for getting out of the way and getting on the ship.
A lot of people are sticking their hands out to touch you as you go passing, considering touching a paladin's supposed to bring people luck.
Okay.
All the hands, hopefully not in the wrong places.
Well, they're probably getting a bit singed at the moment, but you know.
Well, you got to get your luck wherever you can.
I was going to say, how are they responding? Is it just like, ow, 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 all the way up?
And I think that's, I think all the people he sees just believe they've just been given a blessing.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
They are superstitious
So they're
people.
like, ow, with it.
Yeah, pretty much. And as you walk up the game plank, you're offered a mug of wine.
Ah, lovely.
As you can see that there are about 10 other warrior women also as well armoured as the first mate up here watching you.
No.
So what brings you to the Valkyrie, she says?
We're asking for a simple passage to Nummerhead.
Simple passage or passage?
Just passage.
Just passage? Because simple passage we could, tie a rope around you and pull you behind us. That would be rather simple. You'll get there eventually, but might be a little wet by the time you get there.
I think we need to be careful about our words, kind of like those wishes that bite you in the butt.
You can see that she is having fun, basically pulling at your words.
Yeah.
But she does say to you, if you can tell me a great story, I will give you a good price. If you tell me a bad story, I'll double it. If you can give me a absolutely fantastic story, I might look at cutting costs.
How good is Cheval as a storyteller?
We don't know yet,
Oh, okay.
but charisma is one of his one of her stats.
Yeah, okay.
So I will tell him, have you ever heard of how a water genasi turned to a fire genasi?
No, please tell. As they all come to listen to your tale.
I will tell the entire crew about us as a party going deep into the depths of this mountainous dungeon, and upon finding this, we found a rock that would save the world, and how one of the party members who was a traitor, Druid, said, save your rock into the depths of this mountainous lagoon, and I felt a burning spirit inside. Next thing you know, from one who was one with the water turning into one who was one with the fire.
Okay, so I will give you a performance with advantage for that story.
So, you need to go down. Get my dice. And I know what you'll do if you see my dice. Performance with advantage.
Nice.
Okay. There's a hand. Hello, hand. Oh, there's a woo too.
Like that, let me roll the dice.
Because you'll just suck on the dice. 21.
Okay, you get quite a round of applause for your story to them. And they say you have pleased them, so they're willing to offer you a journey for 8 gold each.
8 gold each?
Yep. She says that the distance you're asking to travel is roughly 80 miles. And the going price of travel is a silver per mile.
Okay.
I was about to say a silver per mile seems reasonable.
But wasn't it 8 gold each?
8 gold
Yeah.
each, yes.
Okay.
And with 80 mile, that becomes 8 gold.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm not familiar with the conversion.
It's 10 to 1. They've put
Pretty
the
simplistic.
metric into the imperial stylus.
That kind of helps.
If they hadn't, I would have had to do that myself. Okay, so yes, they offer that to you as a price to honour your tale.
I will discuss with the party the options that have been laid out in front of us.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Valkyrie.
okay.
That's my vote.
I mean, we're probably going to choose the Valkyrie because that was a lot of work telling stories on the piano. Telling a story about my life and how a single tear shed down my face from when I was a water genasi.
Well, hey, it does give you a distinction between the 3 ships. The first ship was all about the captain.
Yeah.
The second ship was all about what you can do for them. And the third ship was about you. 3 complete different ways of looking at how they were doing stuff. Which does make you think, after talking to the Valkyries, that the dragon ship was a slaver ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you weren't actually hiring on as crew, you were hiring on as oarsmen.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with chains.
We weren't hiring on, we were paying to be crew.
Paying to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that include our mounts?
They would then have to pay the same price for each mount.
Okay.
So I'm just going to duck to the bathroom while you discuss what you want to do.
How many mounts do we have? Is it just
Quite a few.
4, 5? So, Yadri's got Aqua Horse. You've got Yep. And then
I've got a horse.
you've got, yeah, I was going to say Imni has a horse and Zal has Axbeak plus horse.
Yeah.
And
You're
I'm
expensive.
pretty sure that, well, 8 gold each is, are there 6 of us? Or 7?
6 of us. I
Okay, so
think.
6 8s are 48. And then if we say double that, we're going to pay almost 100 gold in comparison to 80 gold each.
Yeah.
So it is,
Like, I'm happy to do it.
yeah, it is going to be expensive, but it is the better of the deals because we won't overpay and we won't get killed.
Mm-hmm.
And from the sounds of these people, they're pretty competent, so we might actually get there quicker than if we went with the gold guy.
It's not necessarily quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in one piece is much more preferable.
Mm.
And I know that I got that kind of gold because I've got my gold balance in the front of my book, and I think it's 9,800.
Yeah, basically it's a pin drop.
Yeah.
We could have easily paid for every single one of these ship rides. We're just really...
Yeah. Well, you never know what we're going to need the money for later. You know.
We don't want to take Mr. Oogles.
Yeah.
Because
But Urgles!
Mr. Oogles.
All the oogles.
So you mean
Sexy man, okay?
Want a food snack?
maybe?
Came prepared. Yeah, so I guess we need to find out when they're going to leave and then figure out how to get all our mounts down. If everyone's agreeing on the Valkyrie ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they pull out a traveler's contract for you.
Yep.
Which outlines you're going to help them defend the ship if attacked,
That's fine.
Fair enough.
and that they will intend to deliver you to Tromso before moving elsewhere.
Sounds good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
Yep.
something none of you have actually dealt with before because you're used to just paying and hoping.
Yeah.
Clearly here is a bit more complicated though.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly he's just a little bit more thoughtful.
I'm probably happy with all right of.
And once you've signed and she gets you to pay,
Mm-hmm.
I think it works out to be 11 times 8. As long as I've got all the...
I give him a bit of an up payment. I will give him 100 gold to round it.
Yep.
the first mate signs the contract as well, and she says this will allow you to be able to quickly bring your animals down from the temples,
Okay.
That's handy.
which means that we'll sign an agreement. She cannot leave port until you return,
Until we're ready, yeah.
or 2 days have passed.
Hopefully it shouldn't take us 2 days to bring our animals down.
No, but they have a clause there that means that they don't have to wait there forever without breaking contract.
It's probably helpful when people go out on, like, drinking before they take off and then they, like, end up hungover or getting in a brawl or something like that, so the ship's not held up.
Sometimes they have a single couple of hours clause, but they've given you 2 days
Okay.
because they like the paladin.
Oh, this works out well. So, Cheval, are you impressed by women as much as you are by the guys?
Well, that's right.
I said, are you as impressed by the women as you are by the lion ship captain? I was trying to be funny, it didn't really pull off.
And Sue said in the background, somebody likes the paladin.
Contract. Yep.
Cool. So I guess we'll get our mounts and stuff and get ready for the travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you do notice that all the guards reach the scroll you've been given, and basically don't ask you any questions.
Ah, oh.
That's good.
So I gather Yodri and Pilfering are still with us. I know they're back at the temple. But Tidal is, as far as we know, back at the tower. Or gone off on a side quest.
Gone off on a side quest, you think?
Yep, so 11 times 80 is correct.
The Rosh just confirmed he's working.
Yeah. Facilitate. Okay,
so while you're going through, I will get our paladin to get a insight roll. Probably last roll of the night before she has to duck off.
Yeah. Insight roll. Good thing.
You do believe that all the guardsmen are fearful of the contract when they read it.
Huh.
Are people of what?
The people of the contract.
Oh.
Uh,
Around ship?
Yeah.
that doesn't sound good.
No, probably do.
Yeah, it probably is. It means these strong warrior women are well known.
Oh, okay.
Reading in the fine print of the contract, it does say that at the 2-day mark, they will then embark on a crusade to find you.
Oh.
Hunt you down.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Well,
Quite happily killing
Yeah,
anything.
fine print.
Quite happily killing anything in the path.
we shall organise ourselves with alacrity. Alacrity? Fast.
Mm-hmm.
Fast.
Well, they did give you 2 days.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were saying you've got 1 hour before we come chasing after you.
Mm-hmm. Seems like a fair amount of time.
Mm. But we also want to really get moving in.
Mm. Because we still got to go from Nammerhead
From Nammerhead
to the
Jemta
Jepta Ford.
It's probably also mid-morning one now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We would definitely be sleeping on the ship.
So would we go up and get our mounts now? It took us 2 hours to get down, so I'm guessing
It would take roughly
It'll
about
take-
an hour to get up.
Yeah.
With your little scroll.
and then because the scroll's going to help us with the mounts, I think if we do it in the afternoon, we'll make it just before sunset. And then I'm guessing we'll leave at low tide. Is it low tide or high tide? High tide. High tide, yeah. I'm happy to go back with people to help organise mounts, even though technically I'm my mount.
The best time to leave is just after high tide because then the water's pulling the ship out.
Yeah.
That's the reason why they go after the tide.
Martin,
Yep.
after the guards, does he know when high tide is?
He said there was one about not long after dawn, and there should be another one today, not long after sunset.
So if we get back before sunset, then we should be able to travel.
Yeah, if we hurry along. Otherwise, we might have to spend the night on the ship and go with the dawn tide. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, because that's within the 2 days we've got. So.
Well,
That-
the changing of the tides
that's
is
on
about
the
6
ship, so
hours.
they can't
Yeah.
really blame us. But
Yeah, exactly.
we had everything set and
On
ready
the ship,
before
they
we
can't
came.
go without us.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, hurrying back to temples and getting axe beaks, etc.
Okay, so when you reach the Temple of Freya, you are greeted by one of the High Priests.
Uh-oh.
Well, I should say High Priestess, but High Priest is enough.
Hello?
Yes. So, what are you up to this day, she says.
We're just trying to retrieve our mounts and get back to ship to set sail as quick as possible.
She said she should be able to help with that.
We'd really appreciate that.
You show her the your contract.
No.
Might it be a useful bit of paper for her to get our mounts down to the docks faster?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to scare people into doing stuff for us. If they're just willing to help, then they're willing to help.
Yeah, fair enough.
The word might have already reached here.
Probably.
I had said shit, but you know.
Okay, so once you gather your mounts and meet up with her out front of the temple, she has a longbow over her shoulder and a two battle axes strapped to her back.
Ew.
Oh.
Are you planning to come with us?
Well, if I'm going to escort you down to the docks, I don't go naked, she says.
Fair enough.
I presume her battle axes and her bow are pretty much the equivalent of clothing. And I'm guessing if it's a often invaded city, it's probably really useful to have weapons when you're down on the docks.
And you do find as you're walking with her down to the docks that they open the gates ahead of you.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Seamless transition.
And what you were expecting to take about an hour to get down to the docks only takes about half an hour.
Ooh, nice.
Woo.
Good, nice.
How does the X-Split go with all the stalls?
Well, the XP sort of looks like it's going to do something, but that you do have the horse coming up behind the XP.
Yeah.
And,
Oh, Drazzle. Is Drazzle on horse with us? So that's actually 13 times 8.
So he can pay for himself.
Oh, okay. Well then, that's good.
And the XP is the most behaved inner city amongst crowded people that you've ever had.
God, if Drazzle moves on, things are gonna be very different.
Even my ex people actually learn some manners.
He's been polite, helpful, and friendly to absolutely everyone. And not once did he try to steal anything.
Well, at least you got him a squid.
I whispered to the Frail Ranger. This is new training axe speak.
Okay, so when you reach the Valkyrie ship, the priestess turns to you and thanks you for escorting her down to the docks and walks onto the ship.
Oh, okay. This is good.
Right? Over.
Is there a separate boardwalk to accommodate the size of horse and Drazzle's cart?
Well, they have ropes and pulleys. That
Okay, so they just lift it all up there. Okay.
They basically do ad hoc pulleys.
Does the Drazzle's horse have any particularly interesting reaction to that, though?
It seems to be mouth open, tongue lolling out, and it feet going like it's having fun in the air.
Okay. Yeah, yep. Horse, not horse.
Seems to be enjoying the view. And not long after you get up on board, the first mate introduces you to the captain of the ship, which is the High Priestess.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, well, that's hilarious.
I was going to say, we didn't need to show her the travel contract. She already knew all about it.
Actually, she didn't know your travel contract.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
Well, she'd been in the temple for a couple of days.
Oh, but if we told her we're going on the Valkyrie ship, she'd know that it was her ship, right?
Yeah, but you didn't tell her what ship you're going on.
Oh,
or the
okay.
contract. You
Yeah.
just said you're catching a ship.
Okay. Fair enough.
So she took you down to the docks closest to the ship she was getting on, with the idea that, well, you'll find your own way to the ship you're taking.
Okay. We'll just wait for high tide then.
Mm-hmm. And they offer Zal a or if Zal would like to show how manly he is amongst all the female sailors. With that poking Chauvel in the arm and joking sort of manner, teasing Zal outrageously. As Zal realizes she's one of the few males on the ship with Yodri.
He's not ashamed of his not manliness.
But you do notice Yodri tries to sit at one of the oars and do it, showing how manly he is.
Of course.
How does a halfling fare pulling a human-sized oar on a ship?
Very comedic-like.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm off.
Yeah.
All good.
Take care. Hopefully you don't have a stressful night.
We'll see. We'll probably get a lot of drunk and get through outdoors. So.
Good luck with it.
Get on e-scooters. Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, so yes, you board the ship.
Yep. Woohoo!
They do say that they don't expect to reach Tromso for 3 days. Or at least reach it on the 4th day. Okay. Currently, luck is with you on the 4 days of travel. 2 days, the wind's with you with a natural 20.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
And you don't have any encounters that slow you up or cause you concern.
Well, it's kind of good that we don't have to defend ourselves.
Well, it happens on a regular basis.
Have we, has the group at all had many battles or things on water? Or is most of our stuff on land?
Everything's been on land for these characters.
So I gather we would possibly be at a disadvantage if we did have to fight on water, so it's good that we don't need to.
Okay, just
Well,
looking.
as long as we're not in the water, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, but with ships and like the movement of the waves and stuff like that, if you're not practiced at using a bow on footing that is in constant motion, you might find yourself a bit worse off.
Okay.
I guess, well, I mean, we shoot arrows off horseback, so we're used to...
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And reaching the piers at Tromso, you marvel at the pulleys that they have to bring cargo from the docks up to the city. Many staircases up, cut into the cliff face. You think the any goods have to go up at least 4 or 5 pulleys to actually make it all the way up.
So it's a system of stairs and pulleys.
Yep. So stairs for people, pulleys for gears.
So horses having a lot of fun again,
Yep.
and possibly the axe beak. Right, yeah, so stairs and pulleys.
So as you pull in, you find that each of you is announced by the dockmaster as you get off the ship.
Huh, interesting.
Using your name and clan.
Oh.
Ooh. What is that a bit worrying that he knows all that info?
I mean, I presume the High Priestess has something to do with it.
She says no.
No?
It's just the quirks of this place.
Huh.
Has this got water druids, water wizards here? Water magic?
She says possibly, but
Okay.
she doesn't know what magic they follow.
Okay.
She's not that sort of cleric.
Well, it's just because we had mention of water magic either last session or the session before, that perhaps
In
the
the
way they
clan,
figured it
yeah.
out is that they're using magic, maybe?
Magic would do that, she says.
Yeah.
And some water magic does evolve around prophecy.
Yep.
But then so does the worshippers of Odin, which the head of this town does.
Oh, okay. Oh. See, not only
known
do
as
I...
Alvin the Odd.
Who the odd?
Alvin the Odd.
Elvin
Mhm.
the odd.
So EYVIND, the Odd.
Sorry, EBYND.
YVIND. VIND.
Oh,
EYVIND.
sorry.
Well, that said Alvin the Odd.
Elbin.
No, Alvin. That's a D on the end, not a B.
Yeah, I said, it's EYBIND. So
EYVIND.
V. Okay.
I'm
I'm gonna have to start talking in Tango Foxtrot, I reckon.
Quite possibly.
Alright.
And so the biggest note of this town is they know who's coming and going. As it is run by seers.
I mean, they might be good people to ask about the cult we're after.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I think, why we came here.
Though the odd thing you do here is that when they introduce Thala, they say sister clan.
Okay. I am somewhat excited by this. I'm going to be looking forward to spending time here. When they greet us and they know our names and that, do they also know anything about why we're there and what we're doing?
They don't announce that when
Okay, yeah. They just say that they just know our name.
It's
and
the
our
equivalent
clans.
of you showing up to a social thing and the town crier has announced everyone.
Yeah, okay.
That's how pretty much they announce you getting off the ship.
Okay. That's so it was Sister Clan, wasn't it?
Mhm.
So I gather we may want to find somewhere to put our mounts and maybe inquire as to where we might get more information about our cult.
They do have stables at the lowest level.
Okay. Might be a good place. I suggest, Sal, you stick horse within the same area as you stick the axe-beak.
I think my axe-beak kind of gets it by now.
Mm.
Yeah, but your axe-beak still goes out and chews on things.
Generally, he does that more when we're out bush.
Okay.
I have been working on him with that before horse came along.
Okay.
You'd had some success. He
had-
was mostly killing goblins and, like, attacking creatures. I don't think we've seen him run off with an innocent's leg in maybe a couple since before the desert.
Well, you can't actually say any of the people's legs he ran off with was innocent.
To our knowledge, not necessarily innocent, but not necessarily evil either.
None of them were attacking him at the time because ambush predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, they more likely were doing their business.
I'm more thinking about the fact that at least if he's killing orcs and goblins, he's not killing unsuspecting town villager type people. Because back at that river port where we stayed at the Knights River Inn, I believe there was an incident where we saw him running off with a human leg.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that, you know, him attacking orcs and goblins is a step up, and, you know, definitely you should be proud of his progress. Less of a worry.
Okay. So as you take the stairs up to the clan hall,
Just a quick thing. Did the town crier say anything about pilfering?
okay, so it does announce Yodri and his alien ward, it says.
Oh, just alien ward. It's kind of something we figured out already. But nice to have confirmation. I have a feeling we're going to have to go back to the Dread Island to figure out what pilfering's origins are. More dinosaurs, no Pokeballs.
Well, now I've got rules for lesser Pokeballs.
Oh, God. After the last instance, I'm kind of glad Calcrix isn't here.
Okay, so yes, you take the stairs up to the clan hall, where you can see the clan hall itself has the symbol of Odin above the main doors.
Do we know much about the Odin religion?
Well, he is the head of the sphere of air, or thought as it is.
Oh, okay.
So he's one of the great fire gods.
God, there's a lot to write down. So I guess we'll mount the stable all the mounts first, and then maybe ask the stable people about. Oh no, you said we got to a temple. Sorry, bad short-term memory. Do we get greeted at the temple?
Well, it's not a temple; it's the clan halls. The
okay.
head of the town and ruler of the region.
Okay. Do we get greeted at all?
You are people step aside for you as you are approaching.
Okay.
Apparently, you're expected.
That's not surprising by now. Is this... so it's not a temple, it's like his...
It's a home, as
It's
well
his
as a
house,
business,
yeah.
as well as a...
Yeah, okay. Is it... like, because it's a house, I gather we don't just walk in, or do we?
Well, the doors are about 10 foot tall.
Okay.
Big double doors. The whole place seems to be made out of stone of fairly good craftsmanship.
Okay.
Basically, it's not the sort of thing you would have expected from people who don't have an affinity with stone.
Stone, yeah. Are there guards at that door?
There are guards all around the
People?
place. And the guards open the door as you approach.
Okay, so they don't question us, they just open up. Okay. We'll walk in.
I see the three of you walk in while the others are busily occupied elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. What do we see?
You see a big open space with what appears to be some sort of throne, more of a chair raised above other chairs,
Okay.
and a bearded person with their head sort of at an odd angle.
Okay. This will be our odd Elvind. Is there anyone aside from this obvious person there? Like, does he have a representative or?
He has guards near the walls standing between lights,
I'm guessing we
which
don't.
are basically torches in the wall.
I'm guessing we don't know the protocols for greeting him, but I guess we would just do it as respectfully as we can until someone tells us different.
That would be a society roll. Just making sure I get the right skill because of too many game systems.
It can be a drawback sometimes.
So, do. Okay, so I'll make an insight roll to see if you can figure out what you're supposed to do.
God, I hate having the wrong glasses. Don't roll. Ooh. That's not going to be healthy. Insight.
Wisdom.
Oh, it's only 7. I don't suppose anyone else knows more?
So,
Religious failed ranger / cleric, maybe?
I was about to say, could I make a religion roll? Is this a religious place?
It is a religious place, but it's also a governmental place at the same time.
Which would be better, the insight or the...
Religion would tell you what to expect from a church of Odin, but it wouldn't tell you what to expect from a government that worships Odin.
Right, insight it is then. What is that? 14?
14. And what about Imni?
Do we have an Imni?
I'm here, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry. Yeah. I don't. Are we doing? I don't have much in religion.
Well, it was insight, not
Insight.
religion.
Don't have much
So,
in that either.
Wisdom.
I get a +2. I rolled 10, 12.
Okay, so you and so Imni and Zal are both thoughtful, trying to figure out what's the best approach to do this as Thala strides forward announcing herself.
Hopefully respectfully. I've got manners still. I
said you were announcing yourself. I didn't say you were insulting people.
Yep. Oh, I didn't want to come across as obnoxious. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, so give me a diplomacy roll for our elf.
You go and dice, Joe. Oh, fuck. Diplomacy is...
Charisma based or a skill.
So, I think... would diplomacy fall under persuasion or performance?
Persuasion probably.
Okay, so that's a little bit better. It's 12.
12.
I have a feeling I might offend somebody.
Okay, so not quite offendingly, you stride forward and announce yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The guy in the chair looks directly at you, though his eyes seem white.
Okay.
and milky.
Yep. Like he might be blind or see through other means.
And he greets you warmly as his member of his sister clan.
Oh, okay. Well, that helps. I guessing that Zal and Imni would introduce themselves too.
Yeah, Ivy will introduce herself.
Okay.
Oh, come here. Yeah, I do also introduce myself, sorry.
So he doesn't seem to know much of Imni and her story, but he does talk of how he heard of Zal and his efforts with the Temple of Moving Stones.
Temple of Moving Stones? Is that the desert place we're in?
That was a place that M's character almost died.
Oh! Oh, okay.
Oh, where I got the dagger?
Yeah, where you got the dagger that you pilfered from the offering.
So what does he say about that?
He doesn't say anything about that. He just mentions that he's heard of you from the Temple of Moving Stones. And the stories that these people have heard relating to your exploits there.
You're famous!
That was a very, very long time ago, and I was a lot younger.
Well, considering that probably would have been session 2 or 3.
Wow.
But yeah, and Zal's like probably more than 10 years older than that now.
Does he?
Well, it is 1006. That means you're exactly 6 years older.
Does...
Well, don't think I'm on.
Plus the thing is aging, so 16 years older.
Oh, yeah, 16 years
Yeah.
older.
Yeah, so I aged as well, so yeah, 16 years. It's a very, very long time.
Does he give any kind of detail about that story?
Just that he heard of Zal and the Temple of Moving Stones.
Okay. I make a mental note to gently interrogate Zal about this because it sounds like a really good story for my tree. But I won't do it now, obviously. It would not be the right place.
And he says that Odin has said you would come and ask questions. And that the questions were important. So he made sure that your journey to see him would be quick.
Oh, nice.
Oh, well, that is very kind of Odin.
Odin did not say what you would ask, so I am unsure if I can actually satisfy your questions. But ask away.
Well, I think we're after two things, aren't we? We're after water wizards and information about the crushing waves clan, gang, something like that.
Cult.
Well,
That's the one.
they all work together in some way, I'm sure. Okay, so he says he has heard of at least four new clans in the area. So there is the Black Earth people, the Crushing Wave people, the Eternal Flame people, the Howling Hatred people.
Oh my god, I'm not going to write all of these down. Black Earth, Crashing Wave,
Eternal Flame, and Howling Hatred.
Eternal Flame, and Howling Hatred. At least they're alliterating. Howling Hatred.
As well as the Feathergale cult.
Feathergale.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
the River Guard cult.
Yep.
The Sacred Stone cult.
Oh yeah, I think we heard of the Sacred Stone people.
And the Scarlet Moon cult.
And this, yeah. Sacred Stone and the Scarlet Moon. I guess, Sal, since you've started engaging with him, I will leave it to you to ask more information about the crushing wave. If Zal's there.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, I just, every time I sit down that happens.
Yeah.
So I'm having to walk around with a very heavy baby.
You're learning multi-skilling in
Yeah,
a
a little
new
bit.
way.
A little bit, but she's getting very heavy to keep doing this. But
Yeah.
every time I put her down, she screams, which is not fun for answering questions.
No.
It doesn't make it easy.
No.
Would
Yeah,
you...
you really want to play with my iPad. Look, it's got pretty colours on it. Yeah, it does.
Would...
Shame I can't, like, lock this screen with that on it.
Yeah. Would you prefer me then to take the lead to make it a bit easier for you there?
No, sorry, I'll just
Okay.
carry me over around.
He's also heard of 5 other organizations that have been coming through here. The agents of known as Harpers relating to Redarian's Investigation Bureau.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah, are they the ones that we know of?
they are basically the same as you.
Yeah.
There's the Lord's Alliance of Merchant Princes.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Order of the Gauntlet, the amalgamation of Paladin Orders.
Can I just get you to do the third one? Because I'm only finished right now at the second one.
Order of the Gauntlet,
Okay, thank you.
amalgamation of Paladin Orders.
Yep.
There's Zentarum,
Oh my
out
god.
of Galantry.
So I've got, you said 5. So I've got the Harpers, the Alliance of Merchants, the Order of the Gauntlet, and then
So there's Zentarum.
Zentarum. Yep.
Actually, I think that was the Zentarum agents of Thyatis.
Yep.
I got the country wrong.
And was there a 5th?
There was a 5th, the Emerald Enclave of Druidic primal spell people.
Can some of these groups just like come up with shorter names? The Emerald Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop giving them acronyms.
Yeah, well, I've just written next to the Emerald Enclave. I've just gone something to do with druids.
Druids.
It's enough to prompt me that if we encounter them, to check back in my notes and see if I've got additional information. Because with Martin, you never know when other information you've learnt that you thought wasn't important, it becomes important.
Yep,
That is
I've
true.
done a few times.
So yes, so there's a whole bunch of different people you can ask questions about.
I guess we start with the ones that we're after and then work down from all the interesting ones from there.
Okay. What do you ask about first?
The Crushing Waves plan. How or when did they spring up, and what have you heard about their comings and going, I guess?
Well, he says from his law-keeping, the Crushing Waves is a sect of water worshippers who follow the surging tides and deadly maelstroms of the sea to raging torrents of rivers and floods in the rock-crushing power of ice and glaciers.
Jesus Christ. Sorry.
So anything violent to do with water.
Yeah.
Water.
And he believes that they are a sect of that has been around for a long time.
Oh,
Interesting. So why have rumors of their appearance only sort of started to surface?
Well, they are not a group that has been part of this region before.
Oh, so
They
they
just moved
migrated?
here.
yeah. So I guess they're recent arrivals. Does this
Yeah.
suggest that maybe they're expanding their religion by going to other lands to convert people to worshipping violent water?
They're either expanding or they've been kicked out from where they were.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know whether it's they've moved here or whether it's a sort of separate sect or?
That he is uncertain of, just that they seem to have signaled that the northern reaches here is their new base of power.
Okay, interesting.
Meaning they must have had an old base of power somewhere. Or they never had a base of power. So
And what do they mean by base of power? Do they just mean?
they are permanently building a monastery.
Oh, okay.
There are many nature worshippers who don't actually have anything more than a shrine or a holy place that is something that is transitory.
Yeah.
So when you talk about a permanent structure relating to water, which is all about cycles of unending change, it is quite a at odds to conceptual thought.
Do we know how they took power in the area where they're building their monastery? Like, did they invade and kill people, or did they negotiate, or did they just turn up to an uninhabited area and went, "We live here"?
He does not know. You might ask them.
Okay, yeah.
Though be careful, because asking that way might be considered a little too rude.
Well, I'll get Zal to do the talking then. Or Chauvel.
Yeah. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Oh, good. So he has been able to identify that they have built a lot of their beliefs around a trident known as Drowned.
A trident known as Drowned.
Drowned.
I'm gonna need
No.
to...
D-R-A-W-N.
A-W-N. Oh. D-R-A-W-N. Is that drawn?
Sorry, D-R-O-W-N.
D-R-O. Yeah,
Drowned.
that's Drowned. Yeah. Trident.
Eyes a bit tired, so struggling to read some things.
Mm-hmm. The hearing aid's good, but I still don't quite... I'm not quite used to picking out separate words yet. I'm getting there. Okay, so they base their belief around this trident. Does Elvin does our really nice person here know anything about the trident?
He knows the name, Drown.
But no other info.
He's sure that there will be other sea gods who might know more about a magical trident of the sea. But it does not sound like a happy trident.
No, it doesn't.
But then military weapons are rarely named after peaceful things.
This is also true. Does he know if any of these people who might have more information about the Trident are? Like, are they here? Do we need to go elsewhere?
That he does not know. You would
Okay.
have to investigate and ask.
Yep, that's okay.
He's got his not all-knowing, but wise.
No, I was just looking for other leads where we can start getting information. Otherwise, I'm going to have to, as unobnoxiously as possible, just talk to people and ask them what they know. Which works, but is somewhat less focused. So, it seems to be that because they worship this cycle of change, is that kind of similar to a negative creator, as in building life through the destruction of other things? Like a fire will pop seeds out of trees and that will build more and new trees and so on.
He says that would be what you would expect, but the main focus is surge and retreat. So a cycle of unending change.
Okay.
So building a static home seems to be what is currently annoying him the most about that cult.
Why does that annoy him?
Because it's completely at odds with unending change.
Okay. Have you had any interactions with this cult, or is this just stuff you've learned through
Visitors.
Sorry?
Through visitors.
Yeah, okay.
He believes one of their cult members had wanted to set up here, but it was not welcome.
Oh, well, it's fortunate that you didn't have to, your people didn't have to interact violently with this other group of people.
We are dedicated to Odin and do not wish to change our beliefs to any other religion.
Fair enough. When they approached this area, were they diplomatic, or did you have to kind of turn them away with a certain amount of force?
I believe they were turned away about 20 odd times.
Oh wow! So persistent. This is kind of good to know.
He's sure that he'll still have many more turned away.
Does that mean that if any of the cult come into this city, they are quickly escorted to the gates?
They are welcome as long as they do not preach a different religion.
Okay, alright. And do you know of if there are any of these cult members present in this city right now?
Not that he knows of.
Okay. It'd kind of be good to get news from the source, but at the same time, I think getting as much data, information for that, like, it's probably a better word, about who and what these people are would best prepare us for when we do finally engage them face to face. I can't think of any other questions. What about you, Sue, Imni?
No, I can't. You've sort of covered off on most things.
Did we ask where their new base of operations are? Like, do we have an exact location?
Well, he believes that they're somewhere in Gemterford.
Okay.
He does not know
Is
where
that-
exactly.
Is that where we have been
Yeah.
wanted to be before? Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's where we're ultimately heading to.
Yeah. No, it's good to, I guess, get double confirmation
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I guess we ask about the other clans that have been sprouting around the shop.
Okay.
What to look out for.
Well, he says the cult of the Black Earth. What he's heard of them is they worship the implacable strength and unyielding resistance of Earth.
Is that something that would more appeal to Imni and Zal, considering you said they're Earth sort of...
Earth aligned, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to know what god they're following.
Okay. And they believe in the purpose and stability as their belief structure.
Well, that's not too bad.
And you believe that the people in the Moving Stones temple that you stole the dagger from were members of that belief.
So, in one corner, they could be good allies if we have to deal with the crushing wave, but probably only as long as they don't know you stole their dagger.
Well, either that or it's a good opportunity to give their dagger back.
Yeah, that's true.
As it's been, as Martin said, it was 16 years ago, game time.
Well, game time 6 years, character 16.
Oh,
you
yeah, sorry,
aged 10
that's right.
years.
So I aged. For Zal, it's still a long time.
It
And he's had a few regrets. And that's probably one of them.
And the leader of the prophet of, known as the Prophet of Earth, has a war pick known as Ironfang.
Ironfang. They really like their named weapons, don't they?
They do. Most named weapons have intelligence. And artifacts in their own right.
So,
Well,
is
it's not that Razor Dagger has powers, but I've never really looked into it much more than that.
So is this Iron Tooth dagger belong to the Black Earth people?
Ironfang.
Ironfang, sorry.
Which is a war pick.
Is this a thing that's
Weapon of the
Black Earth people? Yep, just
Just
checking.
like the trident is for the water people.
Yep. Alright.
Okay. Then he says the cult of the eternal flame. Worship the destructive power of fire in all its manifestations.
It sounds like something off Chauvel's alley.
Mm-hmm. We'll know who we'll put forward to talk to them if we ever have to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there anything else relevant about
Sorry, I
that?
was just
Oh,
reading
sorry.
that.
Yep.
I can't stick this all in memory.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Okay, so he says members are known to have burn scars on their hands.
Okay. I mean, for a cult that worships fire, that's
Reasonable.
would be not unusual.
Yeah, not particularly unusual, but you don't really want to associate the fact that you can be burnt by your own people. And the weapon that they have built themselves around is a dagger known as Tinder Strike.
I wonder why it's called that.
Does he know if the burns on their hands are through ritual, sort of sticking their hands in fire, or because they magically somehow generate fire from their hands?
He does not know. He would expect it more from the first because those who create fire with magic rarely are burned by it.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd obviously dislike your god a lot if they burnt you with the powers you're using to defend yourself.
It might be considered, some magics require you to pay a cost to have the power. It could be that kind of deal, but
He says that would be a rather cursed power.
yeah, but zealots can be known to do strange
Zealous
things.
be crazy, he says, looking around his temple with his sightless eyes.
Yeah. Some.
He says, I don't believe that's a distinction. Zealous be crazy is truthful.
Yeah, fair enough.
I see things. I don't tell everyone everything I see, but I see things. That's not normal things.
I kind of don't want to ask, so I'm not going to. Unless someone else wants to ask what he sees that he doesn't tell people about.
He says...
It doesn't tell people that he provides no reason for that.
He says the next one you were asking about was the cult of the Howling Hatred. They worship the destructive power of wind and storms.
So far all of these have been destructive power deals.
And while they talk about being a group of air cultists, he does not believe they share the beliefs of Odin or any of his lesser gods, as it may be. Because Odin does not permit the beliefs of howling hatred within his lands.
Oh, so he's banished. Where he tolerates the others, he banished these guys?
He never welcomed them in the first place.
Oh, okay. So, like, whereas the other guys are welcome as long as they don't preach, these guys aren't welcome at all?
They have been identified as followers of the Entropic gods.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But they do use air magic, so it is not exactly clear amongst the followers how that is possible.
Right, so there's something funny going on there too.
Yeah. And they have a belief of the superiority of winged creatures over those that walk the ground.
So like dragons and griffins and yada yada yada.
This is good to know. I can always turn into some sort of flying thing.
Okay, and the item that they have built their beliefs around is a spear known as Windvane.
Come on, I've given you room to come and get pats. If you don't come within reaching distance, I can't give you attention.
But I'm gonna meow at you anyway.
Yeah, he's like, he's got all the space he needs, but now he's just sitting just out of reach and just sulking.
Yeah,
What's his hat?
It's
You can't
the.
go to
you should entertain me by changing her bed.
Yeah.
It's more like I've slept. I want attention. Give me attention now. Please pat me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's doing his little dance in front of Ariadne, making her reach.
Makes it really hard to take notes, but at the same time, I don't want to ignore him because, well, he's kind of like a child. He doesn't understand why he's being ignored.
Yeah.
So I try to give him a bit of attention.
Yeah, it's like I'm entertaining Mia by changing her bed, but she's starting to get frustrated even being on
Yep.
the floor in her room.
Yep.
So, no, I don't think we'll be able to last much longer.
I can understand. We'll finish up around 10. Hopefully that's not too much longer for you.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I just, I was getting sore carrying her around. She's over 7 kilos now.
Yeah. 7 kilos
they
is
get
a
really
lot.
heavy.
Yeah.
So
They get really heavy.
he then moves on to the Feathergale cult, which he identifies as flying knights.
Flying knights.
Yep, they ride mounts.
Oh. So they're like the Pegasus people we met in Glandry?
He says possibly he doesn't really understand them because none of them have come this way.
Oh, okay.
He would be interested in seeing what they're interested in doing because he has not spoken to any of them yet.
From memory, they were quite secretive.
Well, they have not been anywhere nearby, so He's just heard that they're somewhere in the region. Then there are the River Guard cult.
Yep. Oh, did they have like a weapon?
They did not have a weapon that he knew of.
Okay.
Just that they all have mounts. So the River Guard cult seems to be bands of mercenaries joining together at some keep at River Guard.
So, river pirates?
He's unsure.
Okay. But definitely bandits.
Mercenaries.
Oh, mercenaries. Sorry, I used the wrong word.
He says that he would not be surprised if they turn out to be bandits, because normally you've got to pay mercenaries, and unless they've got a bottomless money well, then you would never be able to pay for it all.
Survive, yeah.
And then there are the Sacred Stone cult, who have set up a monastery that seems to be worshipping the earth.
Are they, like the others, more destructive in their focus?
They seem to be welcoming, hard to tell. You would have expected to have had a little more feedback from them, but they're just that they are earth worshippers. So he's expecting that they might be a good place for someone to learn about earth magic.
That'd be Zal, wouldn't it?
Or anyone who wants to learn earth magic.
Okay. So would that also then include Imni?
Could include Imni or other related people.
Okay. I'm air? Or am I earth? I've got it written down.
You're Ledrin. You can pretty much change.
Oh, okay. Yeah, season Fae. Okay, cool.
And the Scarlet Moon cult. Seems to be a group of Druids that worship the moon, as far as he knows.
Mm-hmm.
He does not know much more beyond that because, to be honest, he does not really care that much about the Druid belief system.
No, I'll try not to take offence at that. I'll at least keep that to myself. So we have all this information about these cults.
And he does have the other 5 groups he can give you some information on as well.
Well, what I'm wondering about is, in the sense of passively sort of getting this information, is trying to figure out the relevancy of this information to our own quest. So, do we...
Your quest was to find out information about cults,
Okay.
people,
And the organisations. So in which case it is part of our quest to hear about these other 5 organisations, in which I will wholeheartedly join in of something.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my brain's a bit...
So he says that the group known that call themselves the Harpers are a secret organisation that doesn't really advertise its membership.
Can I ask, out of character, is this the same Harpers in the D&D novel books?
It's originally from the Forgotten Realms.
Ah, yeah, that's where I knew where Harpers
I've
came from.
associated them with the Redarians Investigation Bureau.
So the R.A. Salvatore type stories, where they've got Harpers in
that
there?
group, yes,
Yeah.
has been taken and put into the
Yeah,
setting
so that's
and
kind of...
associated with the Redarian Investigation
Yep.
Bureau.
Okay, it's just good to kind of be able to place that.
Because they're a good fit for what their belief system is.
Yeah.
And the Lord's Alliance is an aggressive political power concerned with mutual security and prosperity because they want trade to be paramount above all.
So, do they worship a particular god in relation to this?
I'm sure they worship all gods who deal with bureaucracy, trade, or thieves.
So, gnomes would probably get along well with them.
Many gnomes do get along, but not all gnomes do. So you'd have to be believing in trade above all. And they say,
I'm sure some of them do.
I'm sure some of the gnomes do, yes, he says. But it's not a thing you would say every gnome does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the case with any religious following.
Mm.
And the Order of the Gauntlet is the most militaristic paladins, clerics, and monks of each of the beliefs of the region, all joining together into a single organization.
That sounds a bit scary.
So it crosses pantheons and spheres of influence.
That would be something worth investigating too.
Mm.
So when you say that they are following the will of the gods, there's not really a specific god they're following, and each one has an individual god. And as much as Odin thinks that a bunch of militaristic knights running around avenging wrongs in many different names is a good thing, it's also slightly disturbing at the same time.
It's kind of like a choose your own god religion.
Very much so. It's like picking up a ball, shaking it, and saying, "Please tell me it's different."
Mm.
Then we've got the Druids of the Emerald Enclave. I'm sure that they're not the same as those of the Scarlet Moon because rumours are they are trying to infiltrate and investigate the Scarlet Moon Druids. And he's sure that your Druidic elf sister clan would have friends within the Emerald Enclave that they could call upon.
Oh, interesting.
Because most druids of the gods do belong to that.
Does he know to what end that they are seeking to infiltrate and gain information from the Scarlet Moon Druids?
He does not.
Okay.
He does know that druids are not all earth-loving followers, because you can have druids of all the elements and druids of specific elements.
Okay.
So a fire druid is going to be completely different to a water druid.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But you can get druids who worship more than one element.
Yeah. So their element being Emerald Enclave, would that be Earth?
They would be based around Earth, but there's a good chance that they would cover all the elements. Because they believe in balance.
So, while they're described as trying to infiltrate the Scarlet Moon people, they're not necessarily doing so aggressively.
He doesn't believe it would be aggressively. Aggressively would be more like pillaging and sacking or besieging.
Okay, yep.
That would be aggressive negotiation, he says.
Well, good to know.
Yeah, nothing more aggressive than a rock the size of a horse coming flying down towards you.
Are we talking...
That doesn't sound like fun.
We're talking like a rock.
As stone, he says.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
'Cause the
Sorry,
birds of
my
unusual
brains got
size,
mixed
yeah.
up with the
Bird of unusual size.
Yeah, bird of unusual size in the other game, and I'm trying to untangle that.
Because the dropping rocks with multiple rocks was not confusing at all in that game.
No.
This I'd love to hear more about, but
Oh, I made him her a hearing aid. Because it was also a deaf rock with baby rocks, and now they're helping us with some griffins. So it is a very interesting combination.
nice.
At least their pixies wore clothes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Naked pixies in front of your face, going visible and invisible, not something we would enjoy, so clothes are very much appreciated.
I'll be back in a minute. The bug's woken up.
Yep.
Oh, good. And then he says the Zentarum influences for the Theatan Empire, who are the spies and assassins that help the Empire run.
Is Zal no, she's Ethengarian, is that
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm remembering things.
You are.
So the Theatan Empire is kind of known for its spies and things?
It's known for its Roman-esque soldiers, its organization and bureaucracy. The Zentarum is their secret organization.
Okay.
And because he's a seer, he's seen things. So he likes to announce embarrassing things about other cultures.
It's a way of amusing yourself. So, and you think that he wants to embarrass... Sorry?
It probably also leads to truth of things as well.
Yep.
It does.
Yeah, I know. You found the cable. I know. You can't eat the cable.
And
It's not very nutritional.
he says,
No,
but
but she's very sad that I moved her away from the cable she was trying to eat.
Yeah. It's a tough choice. Do you give them an old cable to play with and thus encourage them to play with all cables? Or do you make sure they don't interact with any cables, because it could be a bit dangerous?
We've been trying to avoid her eating cables.
Yeah.
She's very interested in them, and she hates having her progress, I guess, lost. Like,
Yeah.
you move her from her destination, she cracks the shit.
Yeah, she's like, I was heading for that. It took me work, and now
Yeah,
you've
pretty
put me back.
Yeah. pretty much.
But
But she's after the cable again.
not that children are the same as cats, but we had to make the same kind of decisions when our cats were kittens, because they would try and play with all the cables behind Martin's PC and stuff and bite them and things, and you're like, we have to remove all cables so that they don't. But we had a person who was staying with us for a while who exclusively played with them with cables. And you're like, well, that's counterproductive.
and they don't understand when you tell them.
Yuki not to eat cables.
Mm.
You know, puppy teeth and all that, but...
And we try to teach them how bad it is, so, but it's only fun.
Okay, so is that all their organisations?
I believe that's all those organizations that he says are new and impacting the region.
There's a lot of them.
He says there's a lot of things happening.
Is there any way that there is already existing, or that we might be able to get created in terms of a map that might show where these clans are located?
He says that would not be easy because most of them are secretive.
Oh, okay.
And he does not have an agent network like that.
Yeah. So if we were going to do something like that, we'd have to do it on our own. after we found all these
Well,
various groups.
Yeah, finding the groups will let you know where to find them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll stumble across them without even knowing.
Yeah.
But he does say most settlements should have some information that helps. Might not always be useful at the time, but should be useful in the end.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to get a fairly good set of notes going.
Yes, Odin believes in knowledge solves everything.
That's a pretty good mentality.
Well, that is why we have chosen not to just allow the different people purchase to preach here. And just said they can come, they can talk to us, but we reserve the right that only followers of Odin can preach in this town.
It's fair
Yeah.
enough. Alrighty. Is there any other questions that you think is good to ask, Sal?
Not off the top of my head, but well, yeah.
I guess at this stage, because our group is kind of fractured, we might set up somewhere to stay for the night within the town.
Yeah, well, I guess we're gonna ask. Where would be a place that we could stay in the town?
He says he has already arranged for you to stay as guests of his. Trying to make sure I get the name right.
Mm-hmm.
Of his clan hold.
Oh, nice. Okay. We very much appreciate the hospitality.
I try to make up for my earlier faux pas in terms of not being. What's the
That's walking forward and introducing each other.
by
Etiquette.
expressing my appreciation for all the information and knowledge that he's shared, as well as for making those arrangements.
Mm-hmm. And he says a lot of people come through Namahead to journey up the Nordens Ford to fight the trolls.
Oh, okay.
He makes the town makes most of its money from the people that travel up there and the gear that washes back.
Oh. Recycling is good, right?
So the town does have its repairers and outfitters. They do buy most of the goods they sell from Doverfell.
Okay, yeah.
Because, well, they make the stuff. These guys just sell and repair it.
Yeah. So legitimate.
And if you buy quality items, you can generally sell it 3 or 4 times before it needs repairing.
Yeah. Very effective way to have commerce.
And very practical, because the trolls are well fed and don't come towards them.
That's also true. So did you say they go up the Nordestrom, which is that river?
Fjord, which is that it's not a river, it's more a bay, but it's a fjord like they have in our Nordic countries, where the ice just carves out a big, massive land.
Okay. Alright. I think I've got all of that.
And that puts you almost in the centre of Best Land.
On their way to fight trolls. So just in case we feel like a little troll hunting, we know where to go.
And the amusing thing is the domain of Vergeford actually covers both sides of the Northern Ford, but they don't have any major settlements.
Okay.
He says that may be one of the places you may find some of your hidden groups.
Can you give me that name and spell it?
Verfjord.
Fjord. And you said that would be a good place to gather more knowledge.
Well, that might be a place where you will find what some of your hidden places. He doesn't necessarily say that you will actually succeed.
Yeah.
Just that they have no major settlements there.
So a good place to seek.
If you find a major settlement there, it's probably one of the ones you're looking for.
Yeah. So not just more information knowledge, but actual clans or cults.
And that's the same with Jamet Fjord also being one of the places that you're heading to already.
Yep.
Would be a similar place because they don't have any major settlements there either.
Would this be true for anything that ends in Ford?
No, because most of the ones there actually have a settlement.
Okay.
So they're the only two in the northern part of Vestland that are domains that have no major settlements.
Okay. Which one's closer, just out of interest?
So you're here.
Yep.
That's one.
Yep.
That's the other.
We could possibly go to the... Well, we could go either way. Really. So we'll discuss that as a group, I'm guessing. Okay. Yeah. How big, in terms of distance, are those hexagon things?
8 miles for each
8
hex.
miles. Okay. So you're looking at around 16 to 24 miles, and then around probably 12
So
to...
this one has 5, so
Oh,
it's got,
okay, yep.
around 40
Yep.
miles to search.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to
So
count them.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that one would be about 7
Okay.
total. So that would be giving you 34 miles to
Okay.
search.
Yep.
In 2 different sections.
Yep. Well, that's good to know. I would say that we're probably pretty tired by now, and we want to get food and process all the knowledge we've had and make what notes we need to. So I guess we'll take our leave if there's no other questions.
Okay. So when you guys start resting up for the night, they basically do a large gathering in the main hall telling stories.
Okay.
Apparently they do that most nights.
I will busily take notes of all these stories.
And considering where we are, that might be a good place to finish up.
Yeah, it's almost 10, so it's a little bit shorter, but we are a small group this time, so it's not to be unexpected. Tell stories.
That way, when you do go to leave, you can ask whoever's going to be there where you're going.
Yeah.
So it's an agreed upon thing instead of just, last session these people went that way.
Yeah. I would suggest if there was anything else we would do at this game, it'd be more in the lines of engaging with the current population, competitions or contests, or generally getting drunk or trying not to get into brawls. So I think being as practical as we seem to be, we would probably just join in on the stories and then head up to bed.
Okay. So they have many stories and you guys head to bed long before they finish.
Oh, okay. I would like to stay up since I only need 4 hours of rest.
Yeah.
And I don't really need to sleep. So yeah, I'll just stay there as long as there's still stories being told. Scribbling furiously to get all the details I can to pass on to my tree.
Okay. So unless anyone else wants to note something, I'll put it on to end credits.
No, I think we're pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have more people next game, and We can.
Yep.
If not,
Josh is on 2 weeks leave from Wednesday.
Oh, that'll be
He's
relief.
unfortunately got put on nights this week, so
Yeah. I know nights are particularly hard for both of you.
yeah. So so she only has 4 in a row, which tends to be the trend.
I know night shifts always take it out of you.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much Saturdays for him as a writer, so it's essentially I watch of him for 5 days.
Yeah.
Or if not a bit longer, because he wants to sleep the afternoon.
Yeah.
Of the day of the start of the night. So.
Yep. Because you got to get some sort of rest in. Anyway, I think we're good for end credits.
Yep.
And then if you want to stick around,
you can.
Yeah. Would that be right?
That's right. Okay, so going to end credits. I will catch you next game otherwise.
Yep.
Okay. I might head off to. Yeah. Okay.